Her Excellency Ambassador Beris Ekinci, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, Dr. Nebi Mish, General Coordinator of SETA, Dr. Aftab Kamal Pasha, Director IDDF, and all visiting representatives of Indian think tanks, all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar, merhaba, and a very warm welcome to this international conference on India-Turkey relations. As I understand, this is the largest and most ambitious bilateral assembly of experts from think tanks, academics, professionals, and policymakers, underlying the importance of both India and Turkey on the global stage, and the keenness of the both sides for frank dialogue and intensified engagement. For me personally, this conference indeed is a fulfilling moment. I sincerely hope that this conference will not only help in exchanging ideas, but building bridges and developing a roadmap for taking India-Turkey relations to a higher and a desirable plane. Thank you very much for your attention.
Esteemed General Coordinator of SETA, Dr. Nebi Mish, Distinguished Director of International Dialogue and Diplomacy Foundation, IDDF, Professor Aftab Kamal Pasha, Honorable Ambassador of India, His Excellency Muhtesh Pardeshi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both a pleasure and privilege to address this important two-day conference, which will focus on a wide range aspects of Turkey-India relations. I would like to thank the Foundation for Political, Economic and Social Research in Turkey and the International Dialogue and Diplomacy Foundation in India for organizing this important event, giving the opportunity to experts from Turkey and India to exchange perspectives to enhance mutual understanding and knowledge. It is through the efforts of these two leading think tanks that we can also explore new pathways for collaboration. This vision and commitment to fostering dialogue and cooperation between our nations are truly commendable. I also extend my appreciation to Ambassador Pardeshi for supporting this program. As we reflect on our shared history, we look forward toward the future. The relationship between our nations takes on even greater significance in today's dynamic global landscape. In this context, both historical and contemporary perspectives are crucial to understand the deep-rooted connections that bind the two countries.
Honorable Minister of State Foreign Affairs, the Director of the SETA, Excellencies, colleagues and participants. This is the first step towards that goal of frequent exchanges between academics, between policymakers and the thinkers who lay the foundation for better understanding between the two sides, which will pave the way for greater cooperation, understanding, and the necessary input for the direction in which the foreign, economic, and other policies are shaped for the benefit of the two peoples.
So this conference we are organizing today will, of course, strengthen the current dialogue between Turkey and India and bring in contribution to the mutual understanding. And we would like to thank Honorable Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Beris Ekinci, His Excellency Ambassador of India, and distinguished academics and experts and all participants. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the first panel. This activity is dedicated to promote the relations of India and Turkey. And that's why we have selected terms that could promote the resonation and interaction. In this sense, the first panel is dedicated for scrutinizing global and regional order.
What divides us is so small, but yet, and we've allowed that to undermine the efforts to build a solid relationship. What is the relative rise of India and Turkey in the international system? That is we're not what we were in the middle of the 20th century. We are different today, and both of us then have a lot more in common. But there'll also be new frictions beyond the old frictions. So managing the frictions as well as finding new convergences, I think, is the opportunity that we have today. So what I want to do is really just make 4 broad points. In the first one, on the great disorder that is unfolding and on the global order. Second, a bit on the geo-economic transformation that is taking place. And 3, how the shared neighborhood between India and Turkey that's also changing. And finally, to look at how India and Turkey, the kind of transition that we can think of in this changing world. Firstly, I think those of you who've seen the UN General Assembly vote 2 days ago, US voting with Russia's and Russian friends, including North Korea, Ethiopia, and Europeans forming a majority in the General Assembly, defeating an American-Russian resolution. I think it's just a taste of things to come. So the assumptions we made about what divides the major powers, how they're going to relate to each other.
There is a transformation of the international system. I would like to draw a reverse pyramid for you, which will focus on 3 levels. We call it in IR as the levels of analysis. International system, where I'm going to talk about the transformation of international system, and also I will touch upon the role of South-South cooperation in this transformation of international system. Secondly, I'll go down a little bit further down, narrow down to the regional level, which we're going to talk about Indo-Pacific. And finally, I'll go down in the narrow part of the pyramid as the states. State, Indian state, and the Turkish state. But anyway, so there's the order. And we're a little bit from this Western order to a more of a non-Western order. For example, the economic resurgence of the global south. Well, obviously there's China, there's India, there's Turkey, there's Brazil, there's Indonesia.
Eurasia too is not immune to the changes that are taking place in the world. The powers in Eurasia are also busy recalibrating. There is in this crisis a certain amount of opportunity that arises for the smaller, as now is popular to use the term middle powers, to look for collaborations with each other.
Very fundamental and major issue is actually the lack of order, lack of legal order. That's the fundamental of everything. There's no system to apply these wonderful words. Well, first we have to be aware of the potentials. Then you can identify the course for future resonations and interactions. Currently, there's a limited interaction, I believe, but the potential is huge just because of the similarities. In this sense, I have a hope for future as far as there is an institutionalized interaction between the 2 countries. Well, it's timely, first of all, and the scope of the conference directed fit the requirements of a ideal relations of both countries, because we have to discuss the global developments, regional developments, the thematic issues, systemic-wide or regional-wide, and also the bilateral ones. And in this sense, this conference dealt all of the levels of analysis and also the units as well.
I think what it looks like, both the leaders, Erdogan and Modi, as well as the think tanks today, I think are beginning a project of rebuilding the relationship to realize the full potential of India-Turkey relationship, which is underdeveloped. So I think the challenge is to put behind the past, look to the future, and focus on convergences. And I think we're making a good beginning today, both SETA and the Indian think tanks, of a process that can lead to better relations between the 2 countries. The conference is the first step. I think we got some intellectuals, international affairs people together. But I think it should also expand to bring in business people, artists, cultural, and others, so that there is a broad movement forward.
There is a big potential to develop a partnership with India, which would increase Turkey's clout very easily in the region. Not only region as a single-handed power, but also regional organizations, regional institutions as well. We had 2 aims, 2 visible aims, and 1 hope with this conference. And the visible aims are to develop an academic output first here about the potential of Turkey-India relations, and second, to further it up in Delhi for a more like a heavier type of output like a book in the on Turkey-India relations?
Well, I think it is a relationship with great potential. It is important that politicians, experts, bureaucrats contribute towards developing this relationship. Unfortunately, for a variety of historical reasons, we do not have a relationship that is equal to the potential at this point of time. It's conferences that like this that will help develop the India-Turkey relationship. I hope there are more such conferences, and people from different walks of life participate in them.
We have 4 academic speakers today with us, and they're going to draw up a variety of angles to global south, because that's the keyword of the global south: variety.
We have a geographical dividend, a country of a strategic location. This political, economic, structural reforms are ready now to cooperate and to look forward to other regions for going for more spaces, for more business. I think this is the time once we are going for a political dividend to other countries, this is also a plus point for India, that it excels in quantum computer, in chips, in information technology, in artificial intelligence. And so we can look forward that 2 countries having a robust economy and their drive to find more spaces going to other regions are ready to cooperate. Both India and Turkey can go a long way in providing human resources, training people, so that in the long run, this partnership, apart from other regions, would be a solid foundation of understanding and mutual cooperation between both the countries.
In India's West Asia policy, Turkey is missing. In Turkey's Asia policy, India is missing. And Turkey's relation with China and India, these are systemic. Systemically, they have implications in the relations.
Is trying to replace these 3 negative C's with positive and life-affirming 3 C's: culture, communication, and creativity. And this especially applies to India-Turkey relations. In my remarks, I will focus on the urgent need for transforming public perception of each other, which is necessary for enduring transformation of India-Turkey relations. Since morning, we have been hearing about one word, which is potential. That is, there is huge potential, and that potential remains largely untapped. So my presentation is about, providing a deeper cultural and soft power underpinning to this project of transforming public perception. I've structured my presentation in 3 parts. Number 1, current state of public images in India, in Turkey, and Turkey in India. Second, 7 reasons why India and Turkey need to widen mutual understanding. And third, I'll conclude with some suggestions and recommendations for bridging information and knowledge deficit.
Turkey has been trying to strengthen domestic governance and self-sufficiency to ensure independent decision-making and national security.
I think between India and Turkey, there's a huge potential that is still unknown. There are lots of rooms to discover, from economy to security to politics, especially not only at bilateral level, but also very much at the systemic level. So I think this is an opportunity to bring the historical relation to the current trend that relations will be developed in future. I think this conference is a milestone because such a nature of the conference has taken place perhaps for the first time in many years. I think that will pave the way for this type of development, for type of dialogue between between intellectuals of 2 countries, and that will pave for the better development of relation between Turkey and India. And that's a milestone, and I expect there will be more of this nature of the conference.
and dare I say a lot of issues that can be seen as path-breaking moving forward between India and Turkey, specifically at this dialogue, will be sort of fleshed out possibly a bit more on the bilateral level.
It is good to know about where we were, where we are, and where we want to be. What is more important is the political comfort level, and is a prerequisite for taking the relationship to any strategic domain and to any paradigm shift that can be engineered. So it's very important. Why we are very happy and that our Prime Minister and Modi and President Erdogan have been meeting each other very frequently. Actually, it is not, they may not be the bilateral visits. At the same time, they have been meeting each other.
In India, I was there. I met many people have the same excitement, feelings, and sentiments, and international relations through and languages, understanding, and to practice it for building trust.
Both Anatolia and India are the few recorded areas in the world that were inhabited by human beings starting from Paleolithic age. The oldest Neolithic settlement discovered so far in the whole world is Kaino in the eastern region of Turkey near Diyarbakir. It is dated 925-50 to 870-50 years BC. Copper utensils were used first in Aklar in Turkey 7,500 years ago. On the other hand, the Indus Valley civilization is dated, as we most of our Indian colleagues know, between 2500 and 1500 BC. The civilization represented by the Al-Kayonic mound in Anatolia is also dated 2420 to 2200 BC. Catalhok in southeast Konya is the oldest settlement which surpasses a village and resembles a small city. All this marks the beginning of recorded history between India and Turkey.
The changes which is going to be taken by AI is going to be huge and perhaps unimaginable.
Well, I think we are on the path to move in a right direction. We have been discussing this over 2 days now, and there have been some excellent ideas. So hopefully, we mobilize some of them in the coming year or two, and we will see a more positive momentum. I think it'll have a tremendous impact because we have not had something like this for a long period of time. This is the first time I'm meeting a lot of scholars in Ankara. They're meeting us for the first time. It's a bridge building exercise, so it'll go a long way.
Well, I think that now they are way below potential and much more can be done together because we have a lot of synergies and mutual interest, which can be beneficial for both the country and the people, especially as the global churn is taking place. The global disorder is there. India and Turkey have the capability of providing a new direction to the global churn. Well, I think that this is one of the first serious efforts that has been made to bring about think tanks supported by both the governments, which indicates clearly that there is a desire to take the relationship to a new orbit.
It's gradually going well, but it's not. We cannot say good position right now because the both country, especially intersocietal level, people couldn't understand each other, and the papers and books and other things is going very slowly. The understanding, create the knowledge, and doing together, cooperating many issues. I'm so sorely sad that's not the. How can I say? It's not the necessary level. I believe that both countries, emerging power, middle power, is very important, and they create their own on discourse for international society and international community. It's a good start, but we need time, and we have to, do these things very fast.
The links between India and Turkish people, which needs to be kept in mind when we strengthen bilateral relations in the present era, which is undergoing great transformation and a new emerging order in which both Turkey and India
are destined to play a very important role given their geostrategic place around the Turkish Straits and the Indian Ocean region where India is placed. I think this is being held at a very opportune time in the history of both the countries, where a number of scholars from different parts of India have come with their different areas of specialization, and also the Turkish scholars who are hosting us. They have brought fresh ideas in the field of trade, commerce, investment, bilateral cooperation, defense cooperation, cultural cooperation. So new ideas have emerged which will help the policymakers in both the countries.
I think that India and Turkey, they have a very bright future, so much opportunities, so much common interest. Still, they have, I should say that they have to come out of their comfort zone and to explore new avenues from trade to tourism, especially. They have lots of things to do, and especially in education as well. I would say that India-Turkey relations have been occupied by monotony, sameness. So for a long time, we have not come out from that monotony. This think tank forum, this organic conference has tried to break that monotony. And now we are going to talk about new issues, new things, new avenues. So I should say that this conference is going to re-energize the entire discussion about India and Turkey.
The Turkish companies investing around 227 million US dollars on Indian companies investing in Turkey around $107 billion.
Our bilateral trade last year is $10.43 billion. Indian exports to Turkey stands at $6.65 billion, while India's imports from Turkey stands at $3.78 billion.
The support of our Indian brothers during the War of Independence and the early years of the Republic is invaluable. Both countries have a critical bridge and dialogue role between global South and global North.
There is a rise of non-Western powers. So when we say the non-Western powers, mean that there is emergence of the multipolarity. Though multipolarity is a controversial word nowadays.
I think there must be a mixture of, academic engagement with an artistic merit. Then we can visualize the future. Now the states are reassessing the balance of power conceptualization. Balance of power through a traditional means, or balance of power with a new dimension, new scope.
I think this is a this is a really fantastic conference, and you can say that this is the one of the elite panel could be here. That this is the one of the most prominent scholar from the both sides are there, and I can say that this can be lay a foundation for the future relations with the Turkey and India.
I think this conference is a good big start, I would say, which invites large number of scholars, participants to this conference, and this gives us an opportunity to interact freely among each other. And as you have seen, we have been discussing about convergences, divergences in a very free and frank manner. So this is the reason why I believe this is a long huge potential to start and make further steps.
India integration is very important for various reasons. First of all, both are emerging economy, both are politically important, both are the major power of the respective region, and both are poised to become a very important global actor. I think this conference is the most important in recent years, and the two think tanks have come together, and it will open a new channel, new vista for the strengthening, deepening, and diversifying our bilateral ties between India and Turkey. The conference we've seen recognizes the expectations, the aspirations, and limitations of both the countries, the state of play today, and delineating the prospects for future, which is actually, as we saw in the sessions, especially today, the amount of detail in terms of what we can do. Fundamental change in the international system that is unfolding us as we speak every day, that many of the assumptions we made about the nature of capitalism, the kind of organization that economies would follow, that is being torn apart.
I do observe plentiful opportunities for developing comprehensive, balanced, and deeper bilateral ties aimed at deriving mutual benefits for our people. To reshape our bilateral ties, we need to foster deeper and measured understanding of each other, and this conference will be very helpful. Our relationship should stand on its own merit, based on bilateral considerations and long term mutual interests. We should seek greater cooperation for reforms in global governance and should work on sharing perspectives and greater alignment on global issues such as climate change, world trade, international terrorism, cyber security, maritime security, and disaster management. Both sides should intensify efforts to expand and diversify bilateral trade. We should explore potential for collaboration for projects in third countries, especially Central Asia and Africa. Stepping up technology cooperation in IT, renewable energy, space, and defense industry will open up new avenues for bilateral cooperation. And finally, strengthening of educational, cultural, and people to people exchanges will help in creating more of India in Turkey and more of Turkey in India.